Imagine this, he walked away. You were left questioning everything, yourself, the relationship, even love itself. You replayed every conversation, every moment, wondering where it all went wrong. You tried to move on, but just as you were starting to rebuild, he comes running back. And suddenly, you're the one being chased. Why? Why do men leave, only to return when you're finally standing on your own? Is it regret, a sudden realization of your worth, or something deeper and more psychological? The answer isn't always obvious, but it's empowering once you understand it. The truth is, this situation isn't about what you did or didn't do, it's about something within him. Something triggered his departure, and something even stronger is pulling him back. Today, we're peeling back the layers of this dynamic. I'm going to reveal 7 powerful reasons why he leaves and starts chasing you again. Here's the thing. If you've ever been caught in this push-pull cycle, it's time to stop playing the game and start owning your power. These insights won't just help you understand him, they'll transform how you approach relationships and, more importantly, yourself. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you won't just have answers, you'll have the upper hand. Reason 1. The secret to their regret: your glow up. There's something irresistible about a woman who rises from heartbreak with grace and strength. It's as if the universe conspires to spotlight her transformation, and suddenly, the one who walked away is consumed by a question he can't shake. What if I was wrong? When you stop mourning the relationship and start focusing on yourself, something magical happens. You begin to radiate confidence. You reclaim your energy and pour it into your goals, passions, and self-care. This isn't just a surface-level glow-up, this is a full-on transformation of your mind, body, and soul. But let's rewind. Why does your glow-up hit him so hard? Here's the psychology. Men are visual creatures, yes, but they're also highly attuned to energy. When you're in the depths of heartbreak, your energy reflects that, and it's easy for them to rationalize their decision to leave. But when you rise above it, when you start to shine without needing him, it flips a switch. How did I miss this version of her? He wonders. Your glow-up isn't just about looking good, it's about embodying a sense of self-worth that demands respect. This taps into something primal in him, the fear of losing something valuable. And here's the kicker, it's not just fear, it's regret. Regret that he didn't see your worth sooner. Regret that someone else might. So what does this mean for you? It means your focus should never be on proving your worth to him. It should be on proving it to yourself. Because here's the secret. Your glow-up isn't for him, it's for you. But the side effect, it's magnetic. Have you ever noticed how Stoicism plays into this? The philosophy of maintaining composure and self-control, especially in the face of emotional chaos, is like kryptonite to the push-pull dynamic. When you embody Stoicism in your dating life, when you become emotionally self-sufficient, you're no longer tethered to his whims. And that, my friend, is power. The beauty of Stoic dating is that it teaches you to detach from the outcome. You stop chasing validation from him, and instead, you find it within yourself. This mindset doesn't just help you heal, it makes you radiant. And the best part, he sees it. Oh, he sees it. But here's a question for you. What does your ideal glow-up look like? Is it mastering a new skill, leveling up in your career, or simply finding peace within yourself? Whatever it is, chase that. Because the moment you stop chasing him and start chasing your own happiness, that's when the tables turn. You might wonder, does this mean I should take him back if he chases me? That's entirely up to you. But remember this, just because he regrets leaving doesn't mean he's ready to match your energy. It's not your job to dim your light to make him comfortable. If he wants to be in your orbit, he'll have to rise to meet you. So the next time you find yourself in this situation, ask yourself, is his regret enough? Or have you grown so much that you're ready for something better? Reason 2. The power of not chasing. Let's paint a picture. The moment he left, you might have felt an urge to fight for the relationship. Maybe you called, texted, or tried to make sense of his reasons. It's a natural response because losing someone can feel like losing control. But what if I told you that the most powerful thing you could do, The thing that might even make him start chasing you is to stop chasing him altogether. Here's the secret. When you stop chasing, you shift the entire dynamic. Think about it. When someone knows you're available, always there, always eager to respond, they take it for granted. It's human nature. We value what feels out of reach, and we often dismiss what's too easily accessible. So, what happens when you stop chasing? You create space. You disrupt the pattern. Suddenly, he notices the absence of your presence. The texts he used to ignore feel eerily silent. The reassurance he thought would always be there is missing. And now, he's left wondering, did I lose her for good? This is the psychological principle of scarcity at work. We're wired to place a higher value on things that feel scarce or hard to attain. Your attention, your time, and your energy, all of which he took for granted when you were chasing him, suddenly become valuable commodities when you pull them back. But let's take it a step deeper. The act of not chasing isn't about playing games or being manipulative. It's about reclaiming your power. When you stop chasing, you redirect that energy inward. Instead of pouring it into someone who left, you invest it in yourself. And in that process, you start to realize something profound. You don't need him to feel whole. Imagine how that realization might look to him. He expected you to crumble without him, to linger in heartbreak hoping he'd come back. Instead, you're thriving, you're glowing. You're proving that your happiness was never dependent on his presence. And this, my friend, is where the magic happens. But here's a question for you. Why do we chase in the first place? Is it fear of losing someone, or is it a deeper fear of being alone? These are tough questions, but they're worth exploring, because when you address the root cause of chasing, you free yourself from the cycle entirely. Stoicism teaches us the value of self-control and emotional independence. In Stoic Dating, the goal is not to manipulate or strategize, it's to maintain your composure and focus on what you can control, yourself. When you stop chasing him and start embodying Stoicism, you send a powerful message. I am enough, with or without you. Let's not forget how deeply attractive that is. Confidence, independence, and self-sufficiency are magnetic qualities. When you live your life for yourself, you become someone worth chasing. And let me be clear, this isn't about revenge or proving a point. It's about becoming the best version of yourself because you deserve it, not because you want to make him jealous or regretful. But let's not ignore the fact that your transformation will affect him. He will notice. He will question. And in many cases, he will start chasing you. But here's the big question you need to ask yourself. When he comes back, will he find the same person he left? Or will he find someone stronger, wiser, and more self-assured? Let me share a story. Picture a woman who was left heartbroken. She spent weeks trying to make sense of it, reaching out, asking for closure. But one day she stopped. She stopped calling, stopped explaining, stopped chasing. Instead, she started living. She joined a fitness class, picked up an old hobby, and reconnected with friends. She wasn't faking happiness. She was genuinely creating it for herself. Months later, he reached out. I've been thinking about you, he said. I miss us. But by then, she wasn't the same woman he left. And you know what? She realized she didn't miss him the way he missed her. Her life had become so full, so vibrant, that his return felt like an afterthought. This is the power of not chasing. It's not just about making him notice you, it's about making yourself notice your own worth. Because the truth is, when you stop chasing someone, you give them the opportunity to show you who they really are. If he comes back and shows growth, great. But if he doesn't, you've already moved forward. So, here's my challenge for you. Stop chasing him and start chasing yourself. What have you always wanted to do but never prioritized? What would make you feel alive, confident, and fulfilled? Focus on that. And if he starts chasing you again, it'll be on your terms. Not because you begged for his attention, but because you became someone he couldn't ignore. Now, if you've been nodding along thinking, yes, this makes sense, I want you to do something for me, hit the like button and leave a comment with number 1 if this resonates with you. Let me know how this idea of not chasing feels for you, whether it's empowering, challenging, or a little bit of both. And while you're here, don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss more insights like these. This is your journey, and I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Reason 3. Why emotional neglect backfires. Have you ever been in a relationship where you gave and gave, only to feel like your efforts were unnoticed, unappreciated, and undervalued? It's one of the most painful dynamics in love, the feeling of pouring yourself into someone who doesn't reciprocate. And often it's this exact dynamic that leads to someone leaving, thinking the grass might be greener elsewhere. But here's the twist. When emotional neglect backfires, it's because they realize too late what they lost. Let's explore this together. When he left, it may have felt like a rejection of everything you offered. Your kindness, your care, the countless moments of support you gave him, none of it seemed to matter. And yet, the moment you started redirecting your energy toward yourself, he began to notice the void. Why is that? Here's the truth. Emotional neglect doesn't just hurt the person who's being neglected. It also creates an unspoken dependency in the person doing the neglecting. Let me explain. When someone is consistently supported and cared for, they grow accustomed to that attention. It becomes a part of their emotional ecosystem. So when you stop giving it, when you withdraw that nurturing energy, it creates a vacuum. And in that vacuum, they begin to feel the absence of what they once took for granted. It's like a garden. Imagine a lush, thriving garden that's carefully tended to. Each plant is watered, pruned, and loved, and the result is breathtaking beauty. Now imagine the gardener, perhaps distracted, indifferent, or complacent, stops tending to it. At first, the garden may seem fine, but over time the neglect shows. Plants wilt, flowers fade, and the vibrancy disappears. But here's the twist. When that gardener finally looks around and realizes what they've lost, it's not always reversible. That garden may have already withered. Or worse, it may have been revitalized by someone else who knew its value. The same is true in relationships. Emotional neglect is like forgetting to water a plant. When he stops nurturing the relationship, it starts to suffer. But when he sees you thriving without him, when he sees you building your own vibrant garden without his help, it forces him to confront his own actions, or lack thereof. Let's look at the psychology behind this. People often assume their partner's love is a constant. They think, she'll always be there, she'll always care. But when that assumption is proven wrong, it creates a psychological jolt. Suddenly, the certainty they relied on is gone. And here's the irony. It's only in the absence of your care that they truly recognize its value. But let's take this deeper. Why do people neglect their partners in the first place? Is it complacency? Laziness? Or perhaps it's fear. Fear of vulnerability, fear of giving too much, or even fear of being dependent on someone else's care. Whatever the reason, the result is the same. They push away the very thing they crave. When you experience emotional neglect, it's easy to internalize the blame. You might think, if I were better, he wouldn't have treated me this way. But let me tell you something. His neglect is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of his inability to appreciate it. And here's where your power lies. When you stop allowing yourself to be neglected, when you step back and focus on your own needs, you shift the entire dynamic. You show him, not through words but through actions, that you are not someone to be taken for granted. And that realization? It's like a thunderclap. Imagine this scenario. He sees you glowing, thriving, and no longer waiting for him to notice you. He remembers the way you used to care for him, the way you were always there, and then it hits him. No one else will love him the way you did. But here's the thing. By the time he realizes it, you may already be so far ahead that his regret feels like a distant echo. This is the power of Stoicism in relationships. Stoicism teaches us to detach from what we cannot control. You cannot control whether someone appreciates you in the moment, but you can control how you respond to their neglect. You can choose to withdraw your energy and focus it on yourself. And in doing so, you not only heal, you grow. Let me ask you this. What would it look like if you stopped waiting for his appreciation and started appreciating yourself instead? What if you treated yourself with the same care and attention you once gave him? The result wouldn't just be healing, it would be transformation. And here's a truth that's hard to hear but necessary to understand. Sometimes people don't realize the value of what they have until it's gone. It's not fair and it's not right, but it's human nature. The question is, do you let their realization dictate your actions, or do you keep moving forward, knowing you deserve better? Let me leave you with this thought. When he comes back, and let's be honest, they often do, it's not your responsibility to make him feel better about his regret. It's your responsibility to honor your growth, your boundaries, and your worth. If he wants to return, he must prove that he's ready to nurture the relationship this time. And if he's not, well, you've already proven that you can thrive without him. This is your garden now. Water it, love it. And if someone wants to be part of it, they'll have to earn their place. Let them see the beauty of what you've built, not as an invitation to take it for granted again, but as a reminder of what they missed when they walked away. The power is in your hands, and your story is far from over. Keep writing it one beautiful chapter at a time. Reason 4. The role of self-worth. Self-worth. It's a term we hear all the time, but how often do we actually stop to think about what it means? And more importantly, how often do we live it? If there's one thing that makes a man leave and then start chasing you again, it's your rediscovered self-worth. Because nothing is more magnetic than a woman who knows exactly who she is and what she deserves. Let's break this down. When he left, it likely shook your confidence. You may have asked yourself questions like, what did I do wrong? Why wasn't I enough? These are painful questions, and they often push us into a place of self-doubt. But here's the truth. His decision to leave had far more to do with his own insecurities than it ever did with your worth. Yet, when someone leaves, we internalize their actions as a reflection of our value. And this is where the journey begins, not with trying to bring him back, but with reclaiming your sense of self. When you start to rebuild your self-worth, it's not just about saying, I'm good enough. It's about living it. It's about setting boundaries, prioritizing your needs, and refusing to settle for anything less than you deserve. And here's the fascinating part. When you start living in alignment with your true value, the people around you can't help but notice, including him. Why? Because self-worth changes your energy. It's the difference between chasing someone and saying, I'll be here if you're ready to meet me where I am, but I'm not waiting. That kind of confidence is irresistible. It's the foundation of what makes someone start chasing you again, not because you begged for their attention, but because your energy commands it. Here's a key question to ask yourself. What are you tolerating that doesn't align with your worth? Are you accepting half-hearted apologies? Late-night texts when you deserve a phone call? Mixed signals when you deserve clarity? The moment you stop tolerating less, you start attracting more. And that's when the tables turn. Imagine this scenario. He left thinking he could find something better. But as he ventures out into the world, he realizes something profound. No one else holds a candle to the way you made him feel. He starts to compare every other interaction to you, and suddenly, he's reminded of your worth. But here's the plot twist. When he comes back, you're no longer the same person he left. This is where self-worth becomes a superpower. It doesn't just make him notice you, it makes you notice whether he's even worth your time anymore. When you value yourself, you stop making decisions from a place of fear or scarcity. You start asking questions like, does he add to my life or does he drain it? And let's not overlook how Stoicism can guide you here. Stoicism isn't just about keeping your emotions in check. It's about knowing what truly matters and letting go of what doesn't serve you. In Stoic Dating, you learn to detach from the need for external validation. Your worth isn't tied to whether he stays or goes. It's rooted in something much deeper, your own unshakable belief in yourself. When you embrace this mindset, you exude an energy that says, I am enough. And that energy, it's intoxicating. It's what makes him start chasing you again, not because you've changed for him, but because you've evolved for yourself. But let me ask you this. When he comes back, will you let him back in? Or will you hold out for someone who sees your worth from the start? These are tough questions, but they're necessary ones. Because here's the thing. Self-worth isn't about revenge. It's about respect. Respect for yourself and for the life you're building. If this resonates with you, I want you to take a moment and reflect. What's one thing you can do today to honor your worth? Maybe it's setting a boundary, saying no to something that doesn't serve you, or simply reminding yourself that you're enough just as you are. Now, if this message is hitting home, I want you to do something for me. Hit the like button and drop a comment with number 1 if you're ready to reclaim your self-worth. Let's start a conversation about what it means to truly value ourselves in relationships. And while you're at it, make sure to hit subscribe so you never miss more empowering insights like this. Because this isn't just about relationships, it's about becoming the most authentic, confident version of yourself. Let's keep going, shall we? The next reason is just as powerful, and I know you're going to love it. Reason 5. The illusion of change. Proceed with caution. When he comes back into your life, it's tempting to believe that his return signals a monumental shift, that he's realized your worth and is ready to make amends. The truth, however, is often more complex. While his chasing might feel validating, it's important to ask yourself, has he really changed, or is he just reacting to the emptiness he feels without you? Let's unravel this. When someone leaves, they're often running from something, not necessarily you, but perhaps their own inability to commit, to communicate, or to confront their deeper fears. Walking away feels like an escape, a way to regain control or avoid vulnerability. But when the dust settles and they're left alone with their thoughts, they start to confront the reality of their decision. The first thing he may realize is how much you contributed to his sense of stability. Your love, your support, and your presence created a safety net that allowed him to thrive. Without it, the void becomes glaring. But here's the tricky part. Just because he misses what you provided doesn't mean he's ready to be the partner you deserve. When he starts chasing you again, you have to ask yourself, is he chasing me because he's changed, or because he's uncomfortable with the consequences of his actions? This distinction is crucial. Someone can miss the comfort of having you in their life without fully understanding the effort it takes to build a healthy, lasting relationship. Let's take a closer look at why people often confuse regret with growth. Regret is emotional. It's reactive. It stems from a sense of loss and longing. Growth, on the other hand, is intentional. It requires reflection, accountability, and action. When he comes back, it's essential to look beyond his words and focus on his actions. Has he taken steps to address the issues that led to the breakup? Or is he simply looking for a quick fix to his loneliness? This is where your self-awareness comes into play. When someone re-enters your life, it's easy to get swept up in the emotions of the moment. The attention feels good, the validation feels even better, and the idea of rekindling what you once had can be intoxicating. But true reconciliation requires more than nostalgia. It requires a commitment to doing things differently this time. Imagine this. He comes back with promises of change. He says all the right things, does all the right gestures. But over time, you start to notice the same patterns re-emerging. He's inconsistent, distant, or unwilling to meet you halfway. You realize that while his intentions may have been genuine, he hasn't done the internal work to sustain the changes he promised. This scenario happens more often than we'd like to admit, and it underscores the importance of maintaining clear boundaries. When he returns, don't rush to let him back into your life. Take your time to observe. Does his behavior align with his words? Is he making a consistent effort to meet your needs and address past mistakes? Or is he relying on charm and nostalgia to win you over? One of the most empowering aspects of Stoicism is its focus on clarity and discernment. In Stoic Dating, you learn to separate emotion from logic. This doesn't mean you ignore your feelings, it means you use them as data, not directives. When he comes back, allow yourself to feel the emotions of the moment, but don't let them cloud your judgment. Ask yourself, does his return align with my values and boundaries? Boundaries are your safety net. They're not walls meant to shut people out, they're guidelines that ensure your emotional well-being. When someone re-enters your life, your boundaries become even more important. They allow you to gauge whether this person is truly ready to meet you where you are, or if they're simply looking for comfort without accountability. But let's take this one step further. What if his return is genuine? What if he has done the work, taken accountability, and made meaningful changes? How do you move forward without losing yourself in the process? The answer lies in mutual effort. A healthy relationship is built on partnership, not one-sided compromise. When he comes back, it's not enough for him to say he's changed. You need to feel it, see it, and experience it over time. This means open communication, consistent actions, and a willingness to grow together. At the same time, don't lose sight of the person you've become in his absence. Your growth, your independence, and your rediscovered sense of self-worth are the foundation of your power. Letting him back into your life should never mean dimming your light to accommodate his comfort. If he's truly changed, he'll celebrate your growth, not compete with it. But what if he hasn't changed? What if his return is rooted in regret, not growth? This is where your discernment becomes your greatest asset. You don't have to make an immediate decision. Give yourself the time and space to observe his intentions. Trust your intuition. It often sees what your heart wants to ignore. Let me leave you with this thought. When someone comes back into your life, it's not just an opportunity for reconciliation. It's a chance to redefine what you want and deserve. Whether or not he's ready to meet you there, you owe it to yourself to prioritize your well-being. The power to choose isn't his, it's yours. Remember, his chasing might be flattering, but it's not the ultimate validation. Your growth, your strength, and your ability to thrive without him are the real triumphs. And whether he's here to stay or just passing through, you are always in control of your story. Write it well. Reason 6. The healing journey. You don't need to be perfect. Healing, it's a word that carries so much weight, doesn't it? After a breakup, people often think they need to be completely healed, completely fixed, before they can even think about moving forward or entertaining the idea of love again. But let me tell you something, perfection is not the goal. Progress is, and here's the real truth. Your healing journey is exactly what makes you so captivating. Let's talk about why this is so powerful. When he left, it may have felt like your world fell apart. Maybe you were left questioning your worth, wondering what you could have done differently. And yet, as time went on, you started picking up the pieces. Little by little, you began rebuilding your life, rediscovering who you are outside of the relationship. But here's the thing about healing, it's not linear. It's not a straight path where every day gets better than the last. Sometimes it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Sometimes it's messy. And that's okay. Healing isn't about pretending you're perfectly fine. It's about showing up for yourself, even on the hard days. Now, let's flip the script and look at this from his perspective. When he left, he may have expected you to crumble, to fall apart completely, and maybe for a while you did, but then something shifted. You didn't stay in that place of pain. You started growing, evolving, healing. You didn't need to be perfect. You just needed to keep moving forward. And that's what he didn't expect. Here's what makes your healing so magnetic. It shows resilience. It shows strength. It shows that even in the face of heartbreak, you're capable of rising. And when he sees that, when he realizes that you're not waiting for him to save you, it hits him like a bolt of lightning. She doesn't need me to be okay. She's doing it on her own. This is where the power of Stoicism comes into play. Stoicism teaches us to embrace the reality of life's challenges and to focus on what we can control. In the context of healing, this means accepting the ups and downs of the process without letting them define you. It means showing yourself grace on the hard days and celebrating yourself on the good ones. It's not about pretending you're invincible, it's about finding strength in your vulnerability. And let me tell you something. Vulnerability is incredibly attractive. When you own your story, the good, the bad, and the messy, it creates a sense of authenticity that draws people in. You don't have to be perfect to be worthy of love, and you certainly don't have to be perfect for someone to start chasing you. In fact, it's your willingness to embrace your imperfections that makes you so compelling. Imagine this. He starts to notice your growth. Maybe it's the way you've taken up new hobbies or pursued new goals. Maybe it's the way you've started smiling again, really smiling, not just the polite kind. Or maybe it's the quiet confidence in your voice when you speak. Whatever it is, he sees it. And suddenly he's reminded of everything he took for granted. But here's the twist. Your healing isn't about him. It's about you. And this is the key. Healing isn't something you do to make someone else regret leaving. It's not a strategy to get him to chase you again. It's a gift you give to yourself. It's about reclaiming your power, your happiness, and your sense of self. And if he starts chasing you because of it, that's just a side effect, not the goal. But let's address an important question. What if I'm not fully healed when he comes back? The answer is simple. You don't have to be. Healing is a lifelong journey, not a destination. What matters is that you're committed to your growth. If he's truly ready to be in your life again, he'll accept you as you are, flaws, scars, and all. And if he doesn't, then he's not worthy of the person you're becoming. Here's the truth. Healing isn't about erasing the past. It's about learning from it. It's about taking the lessons from your pain and using them to create a brighter future. And when you do that, you become unstoppable. You become someone who is not only capable of love, but also capable of inspiring it in others. Now, let me ask you, what does your healing journey look like? Are you giving yourself the time and space to grow? Are you setting boundaries and prioritizing your needs? Or are you holding yourself to an impossible standard of perfection? Remember, you don't have to have it all figured out to be worthy of love. You're worthy right now, exactly as you are. And if this resonates with you, I want you to take a moment to celebrate yourself. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small it might seem. Because every step you take, every moment of growth, every act of self-care is a testament to your strength. And that strength, it's what makes you unforgettable. So if you've been nodding along thinking, yes, this is where I am, I want you to do something for me. Hit the like button and comment with number 1 if you're ready to embrace your imperfect healing journey. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit subscribe so you can join this community of women who are reclaiming their power, one step at a time. Let's continue this journey together. The next reason he starts chasing you again will take us even deeper. Stay with me, you don't want to miss it. Reason 7. Real love fez, comfort zones. There's a powerful truth about relationships that often goes unspoken. Love and comfort are not the same thing. When he starts chasing you again, you must ask yourself, does he truly love you, or is he seeking the comfort he once found in you? This distinction is crucial because it's the difference between building a future together and repeating old cycles that lead nowhere. Let's start by exploring the comfort zone. For many people, a relationship becomes a space where they feel safe, seen, and cared for. This is wonderful when it's mutual, but problems arise when someone starts to take that comfort for granted. Over time, they may grow complacent, failing to nurture the connection or meet their partner halfway. Eventually, the relationship suffers. When he left, it was likely a shock to your system. You might have thought, if I made him so comfortable, why would he leave? The answer often lies in the complexity of human behavior. People leave relationships for many reasons: fear of commitment, personal insecurities, or even the misguided belief that something better is out there. But one thing is certain: when they leave, they carry the memory of that comfort with them. Here's the twist. Once he's out in the world, away from the stability and care you provided, he begins to notice something. The comfort he once took for granted is no longer there. The emotional safety, the warmth, the connection, it's gone. And this realization can hit him hard. But here's the question you need to ask yourself. Is his return motivated by love or by a longing to return to his comfort zone? True love is rooted in mutual respect, growth, and a desire to see each other thrive. It's not about one person relying on the other to feel secure. If he's coming back because he genuinely loves you and wants to build something meaningful, his actions will reflect that. But if he's coming back simply because he misses the comfort you provided, it's unlikely that his behavior will have changed. This is where your self-awareness becomes your greatest ally. When he starts chasing you again, take a step back and observe. Does he acknowledge the mistakes he made? Is he willing to take responsibility for his part in the breakup? Or is he trying to slip back into the relationship without addressing the underlying issues? Let me share a story to illustrate this. Imagine a woman who is in a long-term relationship. She gave everything to her partner: love, support, understanding. Over time, her partner grew distant and eventually left, saying he needed space to figure things out. She was heartbroken but determined to heal. She focused on herself, rediscovered her passions, and started to build a life she loved. Months later, he came back. He said he missed her, that no one else understood him the way she did. At first, she was tempted to take him back. But then she asked herself, has he changed, or does he just miss the comfort I provided? She decided to take things slow, setting clear boundaries and observing his actions. Over time, it became clear that while he missed her, he hadn't done the work to grow or address the issues that drove them apart. This story highlights an important truth. Love isn't about filling someone else's void. It's about two whole people coming together to create something greater than the sum of its parts. If he's chasing you because he loves who you are and is ready to put in the work to build a healthy relationship, that's a beautiful thing. But if he's chasing you because he's uncomfortable being alone, it's a sign that he may not be ready for the kind of partnership you deserve. Here's where Stoicism offers a powerful perspective. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. In the context of relationships, this means recognizing that you cannot control his actions or his motivations. What you can control is your response. You can choose to approach his return with clarity and discernment, rather than being swept away by emotions. This doesn't mean shutting him out or assuming the worst. It means staying grounded in your own values and boundaries. Ask yourself, does his return align with the life I'm building for myself? If the answer is yes, give him the opportunity to prove his intentions through consistent actions. If the answer is no, honor your growth and keep moving forward. Let's dive deeper into what real love looks like. Real love isn't about convenience or comfort. It's about choosing each other every day, even when it's hard. It's about growth, both individually and as a couple. It's about creating a space where both people feel seen, supported, and valued. If he's truly ready to love you in this way, his return will be marked by humility, accountability, and a willingness to meet you where you are. But here's the thing, even if he's not ready, that doesn't diminish your worth. Your value isn't determined by whether or not he chases you, it's defined by the life you create for yourself. When you focus on your own growth, your own happiness, and your own sense of purpose, you become magnetic. Not just to him, but to everyone who crosses your path. So, when he starts chasing you again, remember this. You are not a fallback plan. You are not a comfort zone. You are a woman of value, strength, and purpose. If he wants to be part of your life, he must rise to meet you. And if he's not willing to do that, then he's not the one for you. The beauty of this journey is that it's yours to navigate. Whether you choose to let him back into your life or continue moving forward without him, the power is in your hands. Trust yourself, honor your growth, and never settle for less than the love you deserve. Because real love, it's worth the wait. And here we are, the culmination of everything we've uncovered about why he left and why he's now chasing you again. Let's pause for a moment and reflect on what this journey has been about. It's not just about understanding his actions, it's about reclaiming your power. It's about recognizing that his leaving was never a reflection of your worth, but rather an opportunity for you to rediscover it. It's about realizing that whether or not he chases you again, your value remains constant, unshakable, undeniable, and entirely yours to define. When he starts chasing you again, you face a choice. It's not just about whether or not to let him back in. It's about asking yourself the deeper questions. Does his return align with my growth? Has he done the work to truly deserve another chance? And most importantly, does this relationship serve the woman I'm becoming? Throughout this journey, we've explored the reasons why men leave and come back, from the magnetic pull of your glow up to the profound impact of your healing journey, from the power of not chasing to the importance of self-worth. And through it all, one truth stands out. The power to decide is always in your hands. This is your story to write. Whether you choose to rebuild with him or move forward without him, remember that the choices you make are about honoring yourself. They're about setting boundaries, embracing your growth, and demanding the kind of love that matches your energy. Real love isn't about chasing or being chased. It's about mutual respect, growth, and partnership. It's about two people coming together, not because they need each other to feel whole, but because they choose to create something beautiful together. If he's truly ready to offer that, you'll know. And if he's not, then let him watch as you continue to thrive. You are not defined by who stays or who leaves. You are defined by the strength, resilience, and beauty of the life you create for yourself. The fact that he's chasing you again is a testament to your power, but it's what you choose to do next that truly matters. So now it's over to you. Take everything you've learned here and step into your power with confidence. Whether he's running back or staying away, your life is yours to lead. Keep shining, keep growing, and never settle for anything less than the love you deserve. Thank you for sharing this journey with me. If this message resonated with you, let it spark something within, a call to embrace your strength, your worth, and your unique power. And remember, you are worthy of love exactly as you are, always. If this video has inspired you or shifted your perspective, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment, share your story, and connect with others on the same journey. And if you want more insights, tips, and empowering conversations, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you'll never miss another video. You've got this, and I'm cheering for you every step of the way.